One of the great things about passion is it opens your mind to the possibilities of everyone around you. That's what leadership's about. That's what life's about. It opens your mind to the possibilities of everyone around you. There's a lot of talk about discrimination today. It's based on one thought process. I've met someone like you before, so I know who you are. When the reality is there's never been anyone like you before. Never will be again. Each of us is a once-in-a-universe happening. But how often do we judge someone by their age, their color, their sex, what they do for a living, the kind of car they drive? Why do we do that? It's easier, that's why. Stick a label on somebody and you don't have to think anymore. But the reality is this. When you deal with someone for the first time or the millionth, you always have a choice. You can either learn from them or you can judge them. But you can't do both. Because as soon as you choose one, you eliminate the possibility of the other. We are teachers whether we want to be or not. We are students only when we choose to be. And this labeling starts very young in school because it's easier for teachers too. I remember when I was in third grade, this teacher had these different reading groups. And you're in one of them because the whole world is in one of them. The really smart kids were the cardinals. Then there were the bluebirds, the robins, the sparrows. Halfway through the school year, the teacher made up a special reading group just for me. The droppings. And every day you behaved that way because you were treated that way. And you were treated that way because you behaved that way. And you behaved that way because you were treated that way. Cardinals, bluebirds, robins, sparrows. I remember the very best day I ever had in elementary school. It was in fourth grade. In fourth grade, we did not have a nun. We had a late teacher, and she put an arithmetic problem on the board, and no one could get the right answer. She's calling in all the heavy hitters, the cardinals, the bluebirds. They don't know the answer. She's getting desperate now, so she's calling on some robins. They don't know the answer either. The sparrows don't even know it's an arithmetic problem. Of course, all the time I'm over there waving my hand like a madman. And every now and then she'd look over and give me a pathetic sneer and call on somebody else. And after she had called on everybody else, she looked over at me and said, "Well, Mr. Powers, Mr. Whenever a teacher didn't like you, it was always Mr. Even if you were a girl." "Well, Mr. Powers, what do you think's the correct answer?" And I stood up and said the correct answer is 17. She was astonished. She said, "Well, that's right. The correct answer is 17. But she was hardly about to compliment me. She said to the rest of the class, "If even Mr. Powers can get the right answer, if even that guy knows what's going on, what's wrong with the rest of you?" And she went on that way for at least 10 minutes. But somewhere during that monologue, she and I became friends. Finally, she looked over and said, "John." "Yes, Margaret?" That was the end of that conversation.